We have the next panel discussion of the day. This is basically on disseminating emerging technologies in securing enterprises. We'll talk about how technologies like blockchain, then organizations are deploying AI and analytics. What are the security challenges there? Augmented reality, virtual reality is being deployed. Robotics are being deployed, and what are the security challenges thereof as a result of this that organizations are facing? We have three panelists for this session, and let me welcome on stage Mr. Sudipta Vishwas, AGM IT and CISO of Imami. Round of applause for Mr. Sudipta Vishwas. Next, we have Mr. Raman Kumar Singh. He's a DGM IT of UCO Bank. Let me welcome Mr. Prakash Tripathi, GMIT Sham Steel Industries. So, again, very varied panelists, core infrastructure, steel, FMCG, Imami to BFSI, UCO Bank. So let me start, and blockchain is one of the major of these emerging technologies that we are talking about, and let me come to the banking person first. Mr. Raman Kumar Singh, how effective has been blockchain, especially for banks, in terms of adding to security level in banks and lowering operational costs and improving the transparency? We remember a few years back during the PNB, Punjab National Bank case, there were a lot of studies subsequent to that maybe blockchain usage could have prevented a lot of things what would have happened. So, from a banking perspective, and that too from a PSU bank perspective, how is blockchain as an effective security measure?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you everyone. Now, Sir has rightly told that one of the big fraud that India has come to know, that is Nirav Modi fraud. That was basically based on the concept of remittances and the trade finance. That whole fraud was based on this concept. Money trails was not there. Now I will come to that, and then how this blockchain will help us in eliminating such type of frauds in future. India is still going through the transition. It has not been adopted totally. Now, what was happening there, everybody know, I think so, that few people were able to have the access of the system, and the system was not that much secure. They were able to create transactions, lodge bills, transfer money, and there was no control on it. Only user ID password was there. Subsequently, 3i concept was also introduced. Still, whatever transactions were done, these transactions were not, there was no authenticity, or there was no validation on those transactions if somebody is modifying, whether he is a legitimate user, whether the trade has happened or not. So blockchain, once the blockchain concept will come, it has not totally come in India. It is still under the, RBI has been testing through their regulatory sandbox. And slowly it will come up, because it will remove all those type of frauds. How? It will have more transparency and security. Suppose in a transaction there are two persons involved. I am the user. Suppose in a banking also, see if I want to send money to somebody else. Now money is going to transfer from my side to you. Now both of should acknowledge that this is a legitimate transaction. So that thing will, blockchain in simple terms, will introduce, and if any modification is there, there will be a trail of it. And that transaction itself will not get saved into the system if the user and the other checks are not validated in the system. So this will in fact not only increase the transparency, but money laundering that is happening, that is a big problem of India.
Exactly.
That money laundering will be eliminated or will be easily traced because government is fighting with this, not able to find out the trails, whether the transaction has happened and there was some trade behind it or it was just a money laundering transactions. Government is not able to establish as of now. The technology are not that much robust available. So in future is blockchain will remove, once the technology is taken and it is introduced in the banking system, bank as a whole, then definitely all these challenges will be met up. Another thing that, should I continue? That everybody knows that India is coming up with its digital currency. Everybody knows that our central bank has already running a pilot project and digital currency with certain big banks and private sector banks and SBI and all is being tested at various centers. The technology behind it is a blockchain technology. Now, I'm just thinking, I don't know, tomorrow, see, there are crores of money lying, physical money is lying in everybody's house or most of the people's house. We are every day hearing news and seeing also that this much money has been recovered from illegal money. And all these things, once the whole digital concept will come, all these things blockchain will be very much helpful in taking control of these transactions, any wrong transactions through this digital currency. Tomorrow is definitely going to happen. So the blockchain will help in all those concepts. Thank you.
Come back to you on this point later. I'll come to now Mr. Shudipto Biswas. From an FMCG perspective, a lot of AI and analytics are being used to gain meaningful insights. In fact, all the predictive marketing for an FMCG company are done on basis of these insights. So when you are applying those analytics on the data that is being generated and effectively using AI, as a consequence, what are the security challenges that are coming up and how are you tackling that?
Good evening, everyone. So data, whatever we are accessing or analyzing, so it's we need to think about the security of the data, how it should be available to the users, and how we can access them, how we can process that one. So based on that, we can think about what technology we can put and what technologies are relevant for that one. In case, suppose a data which should be available to the public one, so can I put them in a blockchain? Is it going to help me? Because those data can be available to the public and where user can see the trustness and truth of the data. Now, some of the insights data, we can also go with that. Even the data which we are, currently if we see about the blockchain, it has a core features. The feature says about I can only update the data, I can create the data. But blockchain does not allow you to delete the data. So that's a core functionality of that one. Even it comes with the baseline security. It's built up with it's grown up with the itself security cryptography technologies that are there. So whatever data is there, so whatever you are doing, you cannot change that one. So it should be intact and it should remain the same. So in such cases, whatever analysis we are doing, suppose somebody wants to change that one, so that cannot be changed, cannot be altered itself. It's remain the same, and whatever output we will get, it's remain the actual output. There is no discrimination or there is no miss out of the information or misutilization of the information there. So that is going to provide us the good result, and whatever may be the output we are getting, so that would be nice. Now if we are applying the AI technology on that, so result would be very much perfect and there should not be any misinformation to be there. Okay. So that's definitely going to help to predict how we should do and how the data and what are the futuristic things we can build on that part. Let's talk about some of the things. Suppose I collected some of the information from a customer and I'm predicting that on X day and X location on X year, so that would be my production, or that would be my targeted production or sale to be. So on that case, if the data is correct, so definitely we can see the output, and based on that, definitely that will help my entire business to plan
True.
all the things, and how we can do the, like now how my production will be going to be, how my supply chain will going to manage that one. So based on those kind of information, definitely going to help us, and blockchain is the one of the key thing where we can see it will help us. Even I would say, if we like to use the blockchain in our supply chain or the delivery systems, or the material management system, asset management, that is definitely going to help the business to run properly.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Mr. Prakash Tripathi, now coming from a core infrastructure sector, steel industry, what sort of newer technologies, it can be, as I mentioned, virtual reality, augmented reality, robotics, AI, analytics, blockchain, or even additive manufacturing is there. So what are these new technologies that you are looking at, and what are the security challenges coming with adoption of these new technologies?
So first, thanks to all of you and good evening. So if technology is there, challenges is always there. So we are from the Siam Steel, you know, our tagline is flexi and strong. So technology should be flexi, but security should be strong. Now come to the point, AI, automations or new technology, AR, VR, how a manufacturing industry is going to use. So in my recent case study in Siam Steel, we design a product, and that product is totally based on the AI and the AV. What happened, everybody know in a Kolkata and suburb in entire Bengal or throughout India, lot of banners and the glow sign is going on with the Siam Steel, our bird leaf, lot of brands going on. How AI will help us? So what happened, we design a application with the image processing and the AI. So our sales people visit in the market, automatically they will get the notification nearest to the glow sign. They capture the image with the image processing, and AI will check. This month, the image size is that, the quality of image is that. Accordingly, our back office team verify and update that image. Because the cost of image is not very high. The cost of that place is very high. If you put a banner in Park Street, the cost is very high. So here in that AI, in our perspective, is going to help us from the branding and monitoring. Now come to the blockchain part. Now what happened? Everybody is moved on a blockchain, cloud, securities. But if you ask, by blockchain chahiye kyun? So people should confuse. नहीं chahiye. Because the vendor says, the people says कि blockchain chahiye. Because I had worked from my last company in the core banking securities. So what happened? We have working on the different technologies, and I realized definitely, like in a banking, blockchain is very vital in case of KYC.
Yes.
Because most of the bank, the KYC done by the third parties. मेरे आधार पे third party क्या कर रहा, I don't know. But with the help of blockchain, the customer know that that person is doing something. So the core of banking and financial is that KYC. If we move to the Amazon or like Siam Steel, so we cannot use in a KYC because we have different type of KYC compared to bank. But yes, in a supply chain, from our plant, from our distributor, from our dealer, how the things is moving. So in this area, we are going to using blockchain. Like we have designed a product, and that product is basically built by our IT vertical Siam FutureTech, the complete office automations tools using blockchain, the DMS using the blockchain. Because ultimate blockchain is going to stop the copy of your documents, modification of your document. So the pilot project is running. Very soon we are launching in a market how you can protect your document using blockchain technology.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting because
Blockchain-based DMS.
DMS. Because most of the people are giving the DMS with the, you can scan it, share it, this. But what happening next? Your document, if you share your document with third party, they can modify that document. Why they can modify it? You have to use the blockchain technologies. So every technologies have multiple things. There is pro and there is cons. Okay. So I think depend on the organization, depend on the industry, depend on the domain, we can adopt the technology and use it.
Okay. Great. You have given an interesting question, which I'll now put to Mr. Raman Kumar Singh again. Banks, KYC mentioned. KYC we know is a critical component of banks, and now we are going, especially after COVID, e-KYC, video KYC, and this leaves obviously scope for a lot of, and maybe not just PSU banks. It would be wrong for me to say only PSU banks. A lot of private banks also don't have employees with all the skill sets to gather eKYC data. So what are the security challenges the whole KYC process creates, and how are you looking from a bank perspective to tackle that?
Now, this in banking, Aadhaar is one of the great enabler. And earlier in banking, we were
Yeah, just, and I would like to add, which I have first thought, another question, the BFSI. We have seen the UPI transactions, the volume of UPI transactions, and just yesterday there is a national survey. The two largest cities doing cashless transactions. It's very surprising. The largest is Aizawl, second is Kolkata, across nationally. So unlike Kolkata has completely shifted to UPI. It's just we carried the news only yesterday. So this UPI transactions, cashless transactions, what sort of security challenges that also brings?
okay. Now UPI is now common to everyone now. As you already told, Calcutta is using, most of the persons in Calcutta is using UPI. There is innovations of a new era, and it is already there in many countries now. Apart from India, it is more than 10 or 15 countries, and one of the best economy of the world, Singapore, is also using this UPI. That means this UPI technology is already having better security coverage. That is why Singapore has adopted it. It is one of the one of the robust economy of the world. So all those security measures UPI has already taken. There are there are FRM, that is eFRM we are telling, that is involved in that. Apart from the all PIN we are inputting there. There are some, whenever you are registering for the first time, you cannot transfer a money more than that. You have to wait for certain time, and that limit is there. Then there are eFRM involved, which is the software is checking whom the money is getting transferred. All those, the logics are involved there. So these all logics on a real-time basis checking, and it is sometimes if you are able to, you are transferring money to somebody, this software will not allow to transfer the money to that. We receive as a bank, we receive complaints from the customer, we are not able to transfer money to somebody, some X person. Then when we talk to NPCI, there are reasons behind the codes behind that you will receive. We receive that 911 code is coming something. These codes are defined why it is not happening. So certain times they are blocking certain users where money is, they are funding it. It is not a legitimate way of transferring money, and that user is they have involved in some transactions that they are finding it is not a genuine transaction. So these are the logic security concern as part of the, I'm not talking of technology part, I'm talking of the user part. All these security measures are being taken there, because I have not been a backbone of, because we are also as a bank, we are only user of that. It is maintained by the NPCI.
Exactly.
So, you will be wondered that how NPCI growing. Even in UCO Bank, it is a Kolkata's bank. We are the only PSU bank in the Eastern India. Now our volume, if I say here, is year on year, it is growing more than 50%. Last year, let us say, if the volume was 30 lakhs per day in a bank like UCO Bank, now this year it has touched around 50 lakhs, 45 to 50 lakhs. So we can understand that our own people of India is using this, initiating these transactions. Now banks, and the problem what as a bank we are finding it, suppose we have to think of next 5 years, what will be the transaction volume per minute or per second, TPS we used to say, that we are, but whatever it is consumed within one or 2 year only.
Exactly.
So that challenge we are facing as of now.
And the KYC part also.
And the KYC, That KYC part mainly because of Aadhaar. Now about the core system that is nowadays API and all are very common. Everybody knows that, and that is we are consuming APIs from the IT department that for validating the PAN card and validating your Aadhaar card. So all those challenges I will believe the most of the challenges has gone as of now, as of KYC part is concerned. So that is being well taken by the after coming of the Aadhaar basically, because all the Indians are having Aadhaar as of now. Most of the Indians are having. So that part is being taken care. We are not finding such difficulty as of now as a banker. In earlier years, it used to happen.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
I'll come to next to you, Shivito. That we touched upon, I want to you to go a little more detail on the predictive marketing, and which is again critical. So, doing it safe and secure manner, but doing it effectively and optimally, if I may say, leveraging it. How are you balancing between the two?
First thing, the data or whatever information we are dealing with need to understand the data's privacy is required or not. That's a critical one. So some of the information that we are collecting and analyzing, so if that information needs privacy, so then we have to think about the what technology we should use. So if we go with the blockchain even, so blockchain having a issue with the privacy. So now does it, so if that has a issue in the privacy, shall I don't continue with that one? Then we have to think about the technology. Is there any alternative within which is available within the blockchain? Like can I go with the private blockchain where we have a control and where we can see? Now with the data, whatever we have collected and working on that and doing such kind of things, definitely require a security. So security should have a concern, first concern to be taken there, and we should work on that part and secure them itself. So designing a system which by default is secure, and the technology which comes by default with security definitely help to securing the data. And with the secure data, we can get more and more valuable result and valuable outcome. That is going to definitely help the business to do more. Think how we can serve more and what I can do in future. So that prediction to be made. But in case if the data is secure and alteration is not done. Now, if I go with the data alteration, if we see the blockchain, as already said, that you have an ability to create and update that one, but you don't have the ability to delete that data. So if you have to alter that one, so what you have to do, just you mentioned that the earlier record is not valid. Now, once the data is validated, so you publish that one and data is available to you. Now, such cases, so whatever information I am working, so I know the authenticity of that information. So if I have authentic data, if I know the accuracy of the data, so what I am going to do with that data definitely is give me a perfect result. And what I will get, so definitely going to match that one. So my analysis and my plan should help me with such data, and that would be a more value add to the business. That I would like to say.
Thanks. Mr. Prakash Tripathi, my question is, banks, we heard, highly regulated industry. Last night I was moderating in Bombay a discussion for the pharma companies, again a highly regulated industry. But you are coming from a manufacturing background, which is, though there are compliances now, but still compared to banks or pharma or those sort of sectors, there are less regulations. So in that environment where the compliances are lesser, how do you build cybersecurity guidelines so that, or SOPs, so that organizations can conform to them? How do you do that?
So, like cyber securities in manufacturing, so it's very simple to understand the security concept from the manufacturing point of view or from any industries. Okay. Always as a company, like in our organization, what I follow, there is hundreds of security features, hundreds of security guidelines, but all are not required to you. as per your industry needs, what are the mandatory parts? If you identify the area, these area, the security is required. Okay, you have to design your plan, and that plan should be very simple. Don't write a security proposal or the documentation like 100 pages. So your end user never understand. There is a criteria who will going to use your security, ultimate the end user. So identify the area, design the proposals, then focus on proper implementations. I know many companies, they are using lot of tools and technology for the securities, but the implementation is very weak. I give basic example here. We are sitting here. Most of people are using iOS devices, some are Apple devices. When we install an application, we only click allow, complete. We never understand what they are asking. They are getting the authority to read my SMS. Bank is not liable for a fraud. We are basically liable for the fraud. We are installing an application and giving allow. What happened? Some person send me a message and automatically they read the SMS and your account is going to finish. So how many people are just giving the, if they install the playing application, allow to everything, my contact, my SMS, my photo, everything. They never think of what are the requirement of that application, how much information we should give the permissions for that application. Same in a security in organization. The companies come, like security companies comes, mail security comes, firewall security. Sir, ye le lo, ye ho jayega. Problem is that we never focus on 5 to 10 minutes on our learning.
Exactly.
So the key for safety in an organization is the awareness and the learning. And always thanks to Webel, Webel take one initiative. They design their brochures, pamphlets, handbills on English, Hindi, Bengali. So the end people should understand.
Exactly.
अभी यहाँ बैठ के जार्गन बात कर लेंगे, कंपनी में जाएंगे, अरे यार वो प्रॉब्लम था, पीपल शुड क्या हुआ क्या हुआ क्या हुआ. So that's the problem. You have to understand how is your audience to understand the securities. Based on that, you can design your guidelines. In manufacturing, we have very much focus on security from the banking side basically, because huge transaction happening in the raw materials purchase and the supply chain side. But yes, in a KY side, we are using the modern technologies, like a lot of, in a banking, the KYC is nowadays everyone providing the KYC services. You have to understand which vendor you should opt for your organization. Someone charging for the 5 rupees and someone giving the 2 rupees. Why 2 rupees? You have to understand. So where is the parameter? People are using the API, but they never test their API. Is your API secure? Bas API use kar lo. So problem is that you have to design your security guidelines based on your requirement, based on your functions, your department. In a organization, there is one security policy for the plants. There is one security policies for the branch offices. There is one policy from the HO, as well as there are overall policies.
Okay.
So it's depend on the type of industries and type of requirement.
Okay. Thanks. So, okay, so like the other 3 panels, I will now conclude it with a rapid fire round. And to each of you, one major action plan for next 12 months, starting with Raman Kumar Singh.
See, we are a PSU bank regulated by Reserve Bank of India. And RBI, our regulator, is very, very tough. And I will rather say they are far ahead than the world regulators in many ways. We have seen banking failing in other countries.
Exactly.
But India had never seen a bank's failure. Even if there is a failure, government take care of it. So our bank, as an Indian, we should be proud. Ki US has failed the banks. US many banks recently also we have heard, and receiver was many Indian company.
Yes.
And that too, the fintech companies. And even then, our economy system, our banking system is so robust, and that is why people in India is having belief in the banking system.
Yes, yeah.
है ना?
Yes,
Not
bank
only
crisis 2
now,
years back.
now that years has come and days has come, world is having faith in India. As you can understand regarding UPI, as you were saying, world is talking of rupee trade. Can you understand? We were in a childhood, we were very happy having a dollar. We want to see a dollar, how dollar looks like. But now, countries like Iran was doing earlier, Russia is doing now. Many other countries which are facing problem due to the present crisis going on. Government of India is trying to trade with other countries, developed countries, I would rather say, in rupees now. That means why we were trading in dollar, because people were having belief that if you are having a dollar, US will pay for it even if there is a failure. Now the countries in the world is having faith in the rupee. Even though if you see that $1 is costing around 80 rupees or so, even then world is having faith in India and Indian currency. And that is why people are and countries are ready to transact. As a UCO bank, I will rather say we were handling from Iran transactions earlier. Recently in the news also you have seen, because of this Ukraine war, India is doing transaction with Russia in their rupee transactions.
Okay.
We are handling that transaction also, and that is why you can see there is no any shortage of energy in India during this last 1 year also. You have seen that. Now, as your question was that RBI, they do our regular or quarterly inspection to the bank, and their team is very robust. They are rabid. The team is known, that is rabid. They are experts in that, and securities have, and then they are auditing us. They are visiting us. They are auditing from their locations also, and they are putting us a guidelines and what the security measures has to be taken by the bank, that we have to give compliance on a monthly basis. So they are taking care of us. Whatever security they are features, they are trying postures and whatever things they are for all those banks, we have to do it. We cannot say that is why you can say all this security we are procuring too much in the securities, too much, because of that only.
Okay.
That's what.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So one measure.
Develop a system which is secure by design. So that's where we are working now. So whatever we build and whatever we do, so each and every applications and the products, so IT support system to be secure, and people and the organization should be comfortable on that. Another part I would go, so robust and more security awareness to the users. That is which highly required. So each and every day the dynamics of security changing. So today X is the problem, tomorrow the X plus 1. So it's increasing, and that changes. People should know and what they should do. Even if they don't know to whom they should reach. That's what the plan we have.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Prakash Tripathi, the last word is with you.
So it's very simple. Within 2 minutes, my main focus is to train my end users on the securities. So we have a plan for the coming 6 months, is a monthly security drive, 4-month email security drive, banking security drive, okay, social media security guides to my employees. If they understand the things, so automatically you will secure, because everything is on a points. Ultimately, you have to take care of your end users. They are the main threat for the organization. Because intentionally, no, unintentionally, they will going to create the problems. So if they train, your organization is always secure. So focus on the training on the security side from the end user point of view.
Okay. Thank you. So with that, we will conclude the panel discussion, and I'll request Shangomitra Mohanty to hand over a token of appreciation to the panelists. Can we have the tokens here? Mr. Prakash Tripathi. Mr. Raman Kumar Singh. Mr. Sudipto Bishwas. And I'll request all the panelists.